morning, everybody. Melisa Nielsen with Waldorf Essentials. Today, though, my topic today is saving guilt for sin. Now, you might say to me, I don't believe in sin. This is such a Christian concept. It's actually not. That's not where I'm going. It's kind of a little tongue-in-cheek. But I will say that the concept came from a friend of mine about, 15 or so years ago, 16 years ago. And a dear friend of mine, and I've talked about her before. She and I have had she's a wise woman. We've had some great meetings of the mind. But I remember I was going through my divorce, and I was really stressed about the kind of mother that I was being, because, when you're in that spot, when you're in a divorce situation, you're under the gun, and your parenting is under the gun more than any other time. And so I just, I remember just really feeling like a piece of crap because I was being attacked from all sides. And even though in my heart, I knew that I was doing a good job, I was really stressed about it. And I remember my friend said to me, she got in my face. She said, Melisa, save guilt for sin. You're not doing sinful activity. Your children have somebody that they can model, and you are doing a wonderful job. And I remember just those words kept coming back to me. And so I have really utilized that as I have worked through my parenting in the last 15 or so years. And the ways that I utilize that is that I really ask myself, especially when I'm stressed out about things, especially when I'm thinking everything's going to hell in a handbasket, or it's just everything is hard, or so-and-so won't sleep, or so-and-so, I must be a horrible mother because I can't get this to go right. I must just really suck because we had 2 or 3 really bad homeschooling days. And so I've been there. If that's ever happened to you, if it's not, hey, you might want to swipe away because this won't be for you. I'm just teasing. But if it's ever happened to you where you have just been really down on yourself, and ladies, it can happen to any temperament. Any temperament. You can be, an in-charge choleric where you think that, you don't think you know your stuff. You know your stuff, and you're presenting your stuff. And I kind of often think that we fall the hardest because we're here. And we think everything should be here. And then when we fall, we fall. Oh man, talk about skinned nose, skinned knees, everything. Because it is, we're here with this confidence level. The other issues that I see are moms that already are low in their confidence. One little thing could happen. And man, they're beyond ground zero. They're underground. And they don't feel like they can do anything. They don't have any confidence in themselves. They're really frustrated, and they know they want this beautiful education for their children, but they're just thinking that, one, they're not worthy, which is really sad. You should go watch some of our stuff on being an agent and knowing thyself, getting your temperament balanced. But they will think they're not worthy, or they will think it's just too hard. And so with that, I have to say a huge amount of understanding this hashtag saving guilt for sin. And stay tuned because I'm going to actually give you a hashtag challenge for this week. But with that, we have to balance ourselves. We have to look at our temperament and go, why am I always showing up like this? Why am I always showing up that the house is burning down, the bridge is burned down, it's horrible, I can't do anything right? If you have said those words to somebody recently, you need to ask yourself, is that a constant problem for me? Is that something that I go through often? Or is it just that you had a bad day? And I love it. Our mentor, James Wedmore, he says, was it really a bad day, or was it a bad 5 minutes that you milked the whole day for? So you have to ask yourself. Whenever I sometimes at night, when we put Soraya and Sam to bed, we'll have a check-in, how do you think today went? And we're doing our thankfulness at our meal. We talk about, things we're thankful for. So it sort of sets the tone for the rest of the night. But Soraya being Soraya, she can be it was awful. And it's pretty normal for her age to be looking at the polarities of life. There's either amazing or it was awful. often not in between when you're at that age, like so 6, 7, and they start to really come out of it by 8. Just to sort of dive back into it around 9. But so I will say, what made it so awful? And she might say something that happened in like 5 minutes. And I said, honey, we can't let that 5 minutes be our whole day. So let's talk about, like, at breakfast things were great, and at lunch things were great. And then Sam stepped on your painting and made you mad, but that didn't make the whole day mad, or whole day bad. It just made that one thing bad. And so we really have to look at how we're showing up and how we are presenting things, not just to anybody that's listening, but to ourselves up here. If you are down on yourself consistently, you have to ask yourself, okay, why am I doing that? And you have to stop and really evaluate, okay, what went right today? What went great in my mothering? And that's something that I try to do every night before I go to sleep. I try to really ask myself, because it's really easy for little things to snowball and get momentum behind them. And we don't want that momentum behind them. We don't want that, like, we don't want that to be like over and over and over again. We don't want to be in that place, because one bad day or one, bad day up here is one thing. But if we go to bed with that, we're going to wake up for another bad day and another bad day and another bad day. And pretty soon you've had a bad week. And that bad week can then turn into a bad month. And that bad month can turn into a bad 6 months. And so you want to not be in that place of really, like, continually telling yourself that. Now listen, I know that crap happens. Parents die. Children are sick. Children are wayward. We have had some major trauma this year that really rocked us to our core, but we knew we couldn't stay camped out there, because staying camped out there, it really messes with your confidence. It really messes with who you are. It really messes with sort of where you're going in life. So you have to stop yourself and say, okay, was I being a horrible, rotten, awful person? Or was I just having a bad day? Or if it's a school situation, ask yourself, instead of blaming yourself automatically, which is something we are so good at as moms, instead of blaming yourself automatically, ask yourself, did my child get enough sleep last night? Did I not put them to bed on time? Because often that's a big one. Did we not eat really well? Like, did we just have... I love this because Super Sam would love to just have fruit for breakfast every day. And I'm like, dude, you need some protein. I don't know how you're like walking around on those bones of yours, but you cannot live on strawberries and blueberries. He tries. But, ask yourself, did I feed them well enough? Is that why things went south? Because we didn't eat a good breakfast. Did we not go on our walk? Did we not do, some movement? Did I allow media this morning? So instead of like blaming yourself in all your, thinking that you suck as far as you can't teach or you can't mother, ask yourself, what else was happening? What else went down? Did you not get enough sleep? Did you not get enough sleep because you're sick? Often when I was in that place, when I had a bunch of kids at home and before Eric was home working with us, if I didn't feel it and I knew I was not in a place of, I can rock this today, or that if I can rock it just a little bit, we just didn't do school. Because I would much rather bug off and go to the park and still love everybody than be in a place where I was really mad and frustrated and angry at people. And and that usually happened when there was something up with me. Excuse me. So really and truly, you want to step back and ask yourself, what's actually going on? And then once you have that answer, and you can only have that answer in review. You cannot have that answer when you're, you can't have that answer when you're starting, when you're in the thick of it, you can't have that answer. You can't have your job in the thick of it is to just stop the momentum and just go, okay, we're going to change our course. We're going to have course correction. Yes.
Well, Becca says, this was such a game changer when you taught me about this in a previous podcast about hungry equals angry.
Oh, yes. It's called hangry.
Angry.
And Sam has this little button that says, don't judge me for what I did when I was angry. I'm like, Don't be hangry. Don't be hangry. Yeah, hangry can kill just about any mood. Just about any mood. So somebody was asking me this weekend, we were talking about Larabars, and I was like, praise God for Larabars, because I think Soraya would starve herself if it wasn't for Lara. Don't you think, dear?
Yeah.
She would starve herself if it wasn't for Larabars.
Talk about food ruts that she gets.
Oh my gosh. And thankfully, you know, from parents that go through that, I would say find one food that you are okay with them eating over and over and over again. And then, you know, change it up as you can. But for probably almost 2 years now, it's been about, and it can't be any Larabar, it has to be the peanut butter cookie one. And we even have an Amazon Prime button in our cabinet. And we're like, oh no, we're down to 2 Larabars. Better go push the button so that they can bring us some more.
She would eat ramen for every meal if I let her.
Oh my gosh, that's so bad.
I won't let her do that.
No, because it's not the good ramen. It's not the good. She just wants the like ramen. 22-cent ramen.
Every day.
No, so we like put the good chicken stock in it, but no, she would love to eat that every day, and that's just not. Food ruts are fun with little kids, especially kids that have like spectrum stuff going on. Food ruts can be a huge thing. But and you can like think that you're a crappy parent.
I want ramen for breakfast. No,
she went through a hot dog rut. Remember, she said it was hot dog season. Yeah. Oh man, there's another like praise God for the Hebrew National hot dogs. Something that I'm okay with her eating. But anyway, back to Save Guilt for Sin. I want you to, when you have those bad days, I want you to take a deep breath and then review it before you go to bed. And when you review it, I want you to review first the good that happened in the day. What was good? Did you respond to maybe your second child really well and you had great story time? Maybe especially, and I can remember this when I had when Harry was younger and we really struggled with some days, I had to really focus on not him and not the kerfuffle that I got into with him, but the good stuff that happened with the others. Because if I only focused on what was going south with him, then I felt crappy. And that's not how I wanted to show up to everybody. So you really want to be careful with how you're making blanket statements about things. You know, overall, yes, you want to show up your best self because you want to be somebody that they can imitate, especially when they're little and when they're big too, because what happens when even if you've got a teenager or a preteen and you're not showing up as your best, they know something is off. And so they are trying to sort of sort that out. Like, what the heck is wrong with mom today? And rather than asking you, like Samuel's really good. He'll say, Mom, can I give you a hug? Which is like, I go, oh, I must be showing up somehow mad because yes, you can. Let's hug it out. I don't want to be mad. And I might even not even be mad at him. But, I think that understanding your temperament, really stepping back and asking yourself, is this like a polarity of my temperament going on right now? Because if it is, I need to take a deep breath and come back to center. Coming back to center means you're not like down in the dumps crying. You're not raging mad. You are center. You've rebalanced yourself. And sometimes, there's lots of things that help me. Taking a deep breath helps me. I love those little calm chocolates that you can get at Whole Foods. Those are great. That I can hide from everybody because they can say, no, that's medicine. I love to go outside and put my feet in the sand, put my feet in the grass, just stand under the sun, stand in the rain, do something that like grounds you if you're really having a hard time like pulling yourself away. And I think the biggest problem is often we get diarrhea of the mouth and it just starts coming and coming and coming out of our mouths and we can't stop it. But guess what? We can. We're grown-ups. We can totally stop it. Anything over there?
No, Monica Ramirez says her 4-year-old staple is quesadillas.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Quesadillas. Yep. We've been through like, okay, what's the organic version of this? Because I'm not okay with her eating this all the time. So what can we change it up to? Totally get that. Take a lot of time. It took me a lot of time. Don't let it take you a lot of time. Learn from me. Learn from my mistakes. Yeah, I was listening to Tony Robbins over the weekend. Awaken the Giant Within. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Awaken the Giant Within. And one of the things that he says, and I've actually heard him say it in other places, but it just was like, ready to receive. So he says that we think that it takes a long time to break habits. He's like, nope, you can break them in a day. And I totally think he's right. You just have to decide. And one thing that he does is he says, well, what's going to happen if you don't break that habit? Focus on that crappy existence, if you don't break that habit, to be your incentive to break it and to just plow forward into the new behavior. So, really and truly thinking about, like, I don't have to wait forever to break this habit. I can stop it today. No matter what your temperament is, no matter where you are in your mothering, you can break it today and you can be in a good place. You just get to choose. So that is my message today. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And I hope if you have any questions, you'll shoot us a DM or drop us a note on Facebook. Or if you're watching this later on the download on YouTube, just drop us a note too. Yeah. You guys have a great week. See you later. Bye.